Frank Warren's been working as a promoter for 3 decades, and to celebrate, he's put together a 30th anniversary show which will take place in Liverpool. That's the bare facts. The truth is that for 30 years he has delivered and created stars and superstars. He's had his ups and downs. I'm thinking of actually getting Frank in next month for an hour-long special. As usual, some opponents are still to be arranged for the December 11th show, but one man definitely on the card is Nathan Cleverly, the Welsh Idol. I went to the conference to announce the December 11th shows at the Liverpool Echo Arena. I went there earlier today and grabbed all the fighters. I started with the promoter. I asked Frank if Nathan will be going for a world title fight against troubled German Jürgen Bremer.
No, it won't be Bremer.
Okay.
It's the interim title. He looks like he's applied to fight for a unification match. That takes precedent over anything in all the governing bodies. He's just trying to duck. I think he's ducking Nathan, but they've made the interim title.
Sure.
He'll become champion. It's no doubt about it. Okay. So he's got to fight the first available challenger in there. The rest of the reason we're not announcing because we're going to do a press conference obviously in Liverpool next week, and that's what we're doing.
Now, let's go to the big one, and I know that they're all equal in theory, but the DeGale and Smith one, I didn't think that was going to get made. How did you make that one? I thought they weren't going to fight each other.
Well, they weren't, but what happened was that James and Jimmy McDonald kept calling out for it, and I think Paul felt that, you know, we was trying to make a world title fight for Paul, but the champion wanted far too much money. He wants to earn some money, which you can understand, and maybe from a publicity point of view, that James has been getting far more publicity than Paul has, which is for whatever reason. So this is a chance for him to get himself in it. So it's got the ingredients of I think, of a fantastic fight.
And lastly, Frank, disappointed you couldn't do it in London. The first show was at Bloomsbury Crest. Disappointed you couldn't do this in London?
Well, I am disappointed in some ways, but in other ways we're in Liverpool. And part of the deal was that it was in Liverpool because Paul's a champion, so you know you've got to respect that, and that's how it should be. And I'm glad it's not a Bloomsbury because I only get 1,200 people in there, and I'll be struggling, mate.
Oh, yeah. Have you been back there lately? In fact, we might do a piece. Me and you can go back there, and we'll have a little wander through the corridors.
Yeah, right.
Walk and talk.
Let me know.
That was Frank talking to me earlier on. Now, DeGale v Smith, that will never happen, or so I was told. And I asked James DeGale what is going on. I thought this fight was a non-starter. That's what I asked him.
Tell him, I don't know, man. I think it's me, Bunce. I think I've been calling it. I've been calling it for the past year, saying I'm the best superman in the country. And I think Frank, bum it, come on, let's do it. And he's delivered. So it's me, Paul Smith. It's a great fight. You've got Paul Smith. You've got. He's the best superman in the country.
And he's a cult hero in Liverpool.
Of course, man. He's a big ticket seller up there. Everyone knows him, and he's the best superman in the country. Then you've got the cocky but talented Olympic gold medalist. So that's why it's very, very interesting and intriguing fight, man. Everyone's looking forward to this.
So you've got the proper title that you've been calling for over a year now.
This is the one.
Do you feel like you're almost there?
Yeah, I think, what am I?
Touching distance, you feel like it's there now?
It's there in 8 weeks. I've got to put up or shut up. All this mouth, all this thing I've been running, I've got to put up or shut up. So I say, man, the thing is mad, isn't it? It's crazy. I love it. Like people can be saying, James, are you sure? Like this is your 9th professional fight. You ain't been past 5 rounds. Are you mad? Listen, I've done the rounds in the gym. I know it's totally different. I'm confident in my ability. I've got one of the best coaches in the world. I'm never going to be unfit. I can always walk to the ring with a smile on my face. So I thrive in all this.
And the only other thing, obviously, for us is that it would have been better if it was in London. Obviously, it can't be. So we try and get the first defence in London.
Of course, yeah, most definitely. I thought it was going to be in the XL, but it got changed for whatever reasons, I don't know. But as I'm going the lines then, I just hope people will give me props and some credit after this.
You're getting the credit now?
Yeah, I think I'm getting the credit.
You used to get the stick, that was a while ago now.
People listen, I'm boxing the best superweight in the country, do you know what I'm saying? And on my ninth pro fight, and I ain't been past 5 rounds. So people are like, is this guy serious? I'm not too sure. So hopefully after this, I'll be starting getting the credit that I deserve. But I'm looking forward to it.
So DeGale saw it as a bit of a surprise fight. What about Paul Smith? I asked him exactly the same thing.
So did I at first, but you know, I got offered it, and whether to say no for money or no for anything else, deep down it's still a no, and I wouldn't turn the fight down. You know, I've always wanted to fight the best kids, and people go on about James, about being how good he is and top amateur Olympic gold medalist, and I'm certainly not going to turn a no challenge down.
Do you feel that over the last 6 or 7 years you've sort of been a bit ignored and gone under the radar a bit? Do you feel a bit like it's time for a bit of Paul Smith time?
I don't know, you know, not necessarily. Everyone always says about your career and that. When I turned pro, that was the way to do it. You know, you have 17, 18 fights before you go for the title and everything else. Nowadays, it's a different game. You turn pro, and you want results within 10 fights. That's the way the game's gone. You know, it seems to be a bit like changing over the last 7 or 8 years. But
is it going too fast, do you think, for some of these kids? Not necessarily James.
Well, I think it was for James,
some of them,
but it didn't for our Stephen. Yeah. It might do for George Groves, it might do for some of the other kids who've only had under 10 fights.
But it's not going to work for all of them,
I don't think it will for Frankie Gavin. I think it's come right time for Frankie Gavin. Different kids are different, you know, they need moving quicker, but it depends on the kid and it depends on the individual, I think.
It certainly does. Now, it got quite lively between Cleverly and Scouser Tony Bellew at the press conference when they talked about a future fight. It was ugly, to tell the truth, and I like that edge. You know, I like a little bit of edge. It certainly helps things. We'll hear from Big Tony the Bomber in a moment. But first, Nathan Cleverly's still confident of going for a world light heavyweight title in December, despite not knowing his opponent.
Yeah, definitely. Tricky situation with Jürgen Bremen. No one knows what's happening. A little bit frustrating, but this is boxing. You've got to get on with business. And December the 11th, I'm pretty sure I'll be fighting for the world title.
Now, we saw a different side of you here today when you said to Tony Bellew there, when you said to him, well, you know, I'm world class, you're Commonwealth class. Then you used a really interesting line. You said, you should have fought me when I was a student. That was when you could have beaten me. You can't beat me now. You really believe that, Nathan?
Yeah, of course.
You're a different fighter now.
Yeah, 100%. You know, what I say is the truth, really. Just speaking the truth and speaking facts. I believe since university's out the way, I think against Karen Murat, who was ranked #1 by the WBO, you've seen a major step up in my performance. Still things to learn, but I've got plenty of time to eradicate those errors, and I believe it's going to take a real top-class fighter to beat me, and I don't think I'll ever get beat.
Don't think I'll ever get beat. That was Nathan Cleverly talking a little bit earlier. Now, Tony the Bomber Bellew says he can't wait for the event in Liverpool. In fact, he was itching. It's his home. They love him there. He's also half a fruitcake. And by the way, he can fight.
I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a big show in Liverpool. It's going to be great to be fighting in my hometown. I always usually put on a show in Liverpool, so, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, beloved Everton play at home that day, so I can't wait.
And Nathan Cleverly stuff, I like Nath, I like you, I like Nath. I thought he was a little bit strong today. I'm not trying to wind you up. I was a bit surprised by what he said.
Oh, well,
I thought it was a bit unprovoked, to be honest with you.
Well, you know, he provoked me, and, you know, he's going to get his, you know, I'm not going to sit there and be chastised by anyone. I'm a grown man, so, you know, he's got a very short memory. He forgets these nights that he had with Joey Vegas, being on the floor, winning by 1 point. But, you know, everyone can have a bad night. I've had my bad night. Simple as that. He's got his opinion, I've got mine. I'm sure we'll see in the next 18 months, 12, 18 months. I'll see if I can shut him up as well. But, you know, for now it's about my career. He's got his career, I've got mine. So I'll just keep concentrating on myself and not him.
I don't know what Sky did when they were broadcasting it, because everyone was effing and jeffing. Oh, the swear box, there was plenty of money in that. I was thinking of nicking it on the way out. Anyway, the 2007 World Amateur Champion, Frankie Gavin, might just be the best prospect in boxing. Trust me, I think this guy is fantastic. He's also sensible. He understands the boxing and the business. He knows, and not many kids with as little experience as him, but with as big a name as him from the amateurs, know this. He knows there is still some learning to do.
Yeah, I've got to learn, but I've done a lot of learning in the gym with Matty Hall. He's been all the sparring I've had with different lads. Ronnie Effen's in the gym now. He's come to the gym more eager, he's sparring with me, so he's like, he's always trying to take the header. So keep on your toes, and I know myself now. If I got told Lenny Dawes December 11th, I'll beat him. I know. McCloskey and Alozagun, they're a bit further than that, and I'm going to have to learn before I even put them in the same bracket as me. But Lenny Dawes, I can beat him now.
Do you think that bit of patience is going to serve you well? Because it's right what you say, McCloskey and Josie Alozagun, they're probably just a little bit more experienced than you, whereas some other guys that turn pro about the same time as you and before you, they want to jump straight away, want to fight for titles. Do you think that bit of patience will help you in the end, in the long run?
I think so. Yeah. I think anyone who's had 8 or less fights as a pro in the world now, I know the people going out the wild card will benefit us, and them. They're good fighters, but I know I beat them now over 8 rounds definitely. But then with Lenny's good for 12 rounds, but he's got that little bit less class than what I've got, in my opinion. He's not as quick as me. He's not as hard to hit as me. I'm just as strong as him, and I know I'll be just as fit as him when it comes, and I know I'll beat him.
And finally, after what seems like ages, Kell Brook, the WBO Intercontinental Welterweight Champion and champion in weight, and is finally going to get what he's been looking for.
At last, you know. At a young age, you know, Steve, they've been big expectations from me, and now the day is about to come. So that world title fight's in me grasp now. I'm just going to grab hold of it and take charge.
You're right about that. I mean, we were expecting things a couple of years ago, then it was a bit stop-start for various TV companies and all sorts of shenanigans. But do you feel now controlled? Do you feel now relaxed? Do you feel, the word I'm going to use, do you feel mature now, Kell?
I feel mature. I'm 24. I feel my mind's coming together. I'm there. I'm just ready for it now, you know. I'm knocking on the door for that world title, and the time's just about right. I can feel it. I just know that I'm just going to be dominating after that, and things are just going to get great.
Now, you're comfy at welterweight. You don't swell up too much, do you, size-wise?
No, I'm very, very comfortable at welterweight. So I'm strong. I'm big at the weight, and I'm fit. Can do 12, 15 rounds if I need to. So I'm ready to dominate and stamp my mark.